Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, August 29th. I realized this morning that it is my 1 year anniversary of actually meeting my twin flame in person. We had our first date a year ago tonight. We went and had Chinese at Mark Pie's, and we had been talking for several months by text and finally got to meet in person. So I just kind of was reminiscing about that whole thing. And yesterday I got to thinking about I'm almost 54, never married, and just now meeting my true love, and how my dating experiences have changed over the years from when I was in my 20s and 30s to my 40s and 50s. And now that I have single friends my age that are dating, and just the different issues that come up. So I was like, I'm going to do a card reading for different age groups, like a love reading for that, and just see what kind of issues people are coming up. So I just finished the 20 to 35 and 35 to 50. So this one's going to be 50 and over, because I want to see what kind of issues you guys are dealing with in dating, because the decades do seem to make a difference. You know, the problems that we have now at my age, way different than what you guys had in your 20s and 30s, or what I had in my 20s and 30s. So I am curious. I mean, I know I have friends. I have a friend that's 70, in her 70s, and she wants to meet somebody really bad. And so the stuff that she complains about, is completely different than the stuff I complain about. But I'm curious to see what the cards say, and see if there's any advice out there for y'all. Okay, so the first thing there's one tarot. Huh? It's amazing how these cards end up like so on the money. I'm like, it just, every time I do something like this, it just blows my mind of what comes up. And it just makes me trust them even more. So the first card that came up was the Hermit card. And the older you get, the more of a hermit. Okay. So I'm going to leave that one in reverse. I started to do that, flip it around, but for some reason I'm feeling like that stays in the reverse. Yep. See what that one says. Okay. Okay, so again, this is just kind of the overall energy of someone who is dating in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, however old you are as you watch this. I guess by doing this, I'll find out what my age range of people is that's watching my stuff. I need one more card, please. One more card. There's one. Let's see what that says. And that was upside down too. So, okay. So the first card that came up was the Hermit card. And the first thing that popped into my head is, the older you get, the more comfortable you are being at home by yourself. I have experienced this. I would rather sit at home by myself than go out with somebody that I have no interest in. And in your 20s and 30s, in my 20s and 30s, I still was in a mood to go out a lot. And as I have gotten older, I have gotten more and more comfortable at just staying home by myself. I'm happy with myself. I enjoy my own company. And I think, I can totally see us older generation sitting at home a lot and just kind of being content and happy with the life they have. That is a problem if you really do want to meet somebody, because you do kind of have to get out and about if you want to meet somebody. I mean, yes, you could sit at home and play around on the dating sites, but you still need to get out and meet somebody. And so yeah, that kind of fits along with this. Okay, so this is what this one meant to me. This was the Two of Cups that was in the reverse position. And so for me, that feels like when you've hit 50, 60, 70, however old you may be as you watch this particular reading, is you have given up. This would be your happy ending and as a couple, but because it was in the reverse position, I'm thinking that you have just given up on that happy ending ever happening. So the Six of Swords came up, and it's like I feel like that's saying is like, you know who you are, and you know you need to get out and move, and you're not real excited about it, because if you look at this guy and they're kind of terrified, and that would also make sense because a lot of people in the older generations, they also may be coming out of a bad relationship or two bad relationships. I can think of one friend in particular that I have right now that's in her 60s, and she's on the dating sites and dating, and she wants to meet somebody, but she's also having a really difficult time and scared of meeting the wrong person. So, she had a scammer that she was talking to not too long ago. And, you get scared after a while that, maybe if you are financially stable, are they after your money? What are they after? And a lot of guys seem to still, even at even in their 50s, 60s, 70s, seem to still only be after sex a lot of times. And this was the Queen of Cups that was in reverse. So let's see. What do I think this one means? Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups in reverse would, to me, indicate once upon a time. Okay, this makes sense. Once upon a time, if this would have been upright, she had it going on. She had everything. She had beauty. She had the happy home. Things were great. And now it's upside down. So she doesn't feel as beautiful as she used to. She's aging. She's wrinkly. She's wondering why anybody is ever going to want to have anything to do with her, because she isn't vibrant like she was in her 20s and 30s and getting all the attention that she was. I can attest to somewhat feeling that way, even though I have met somebody. He's 14 years younger than me. And I do worry, not necessarily worry, but I do wonder if that's an issue for him. I think it was maybe at one time. I think he's gotten over that now. But there's a pretty good age gap between the two of us. And so you do notice, I'm like, I've had gray hair for a long, long time. And you do just kind of wonder if men or the opposite sex is going to find you attractive as you age. And I think that's probably why that Queen of Cups came in the reverse position, is because that is kind of a blockage and a self-esteem issue image. Because the one friend that I have that met up with the scammer, she just continually says, I've got wrinkles and I'm not as beautiful as I used to be. And she seems like she has like really low self-esteem right now. And, I wish there was something I could do. I'm like, let's go out and buy some new clothes and get a makeover. I don't know. It's like, I can't, I wish I could help her feel better about herself. I also think she would end up finding nicer guys if she did feel better about herself. So let's do some romance, angels, and see what's coming up with that. For those of you who are in a relationship or dating somebody, and if you guys have been single for a long time, go back and look at the other age ranges and tell me if that was what you ran into, 20s, 30s, then 30s, 40s, up to 50, and and see and tell me if you think that what came out in the cards you feel is appropriate or kind of happened in your life. Okay, so let's get some romance angel cards here. Let's do 1, 2, 3. So the first one says, give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. So it sounds like somebody's in one, maybe. Give it a chance, don't be judgmental. Hopefully the older you have gotten, the less judgmental you have gotten. Again, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was so judgmental. And if anybody looked at me cross-eyed, they were done. If they did anything wrong, they were done. And I was it was pathetic. I know that. I was pathetic. This one says, let go of control issues. Allow this situation to unfold naturally. I feel like that's kind of talking to me. Maybe. God, the older you get, the more controlling maybe you get. I don't know. It's like you get used to things your own way. I have, I'm like, I've never lived with anybody. Well, I shouldn't say I've never lived with anybody. I've never lived with a significant other before. I have lived with people. I had to live with people after the real estate market tanked, and I couldn't afford to live on my own anymore. I let go of a lot of control issues during that because I had absolutely no control over anything. Oh, this is interesting. This says past life relationship. You have known each other before. So some of you may be reconnecting. I feel like that's maybe reconnecting with somebody that, now this could be from a past life, truly a past life, because I do past life readings. Or this could be like somebody that you went to high school with. You're rekindling a relationship from a previous time. This would make total sense. When you get a certain age, you kind of went through lots of different things, and there have been people in your life that you maybe made a connection with, and perhaps the timing wasn't right. He was married, you were married, it wasn't a good time for you to be together, you went to high school or college together, you both got married and lived your life for 20 or 30 years or whatever, and now after so many years, maybe you've run into each other again, and it literally is like a past life relationship, and you did know each other at one time. I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Let's see. I've got these, the Sacred Geometry Activation cards. So let's get a couple out of here and see what this says. Oh, on the floor. All right. This one says solar plexus chakra. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. I will say the older you get, the more at ease with yourself, and your self-esteem generally gets better. Your sense of self, you get more confident. I mean, God, I know when I hit 40, I could no longer put up with bullshit. And you couldn't make me for nothing. And it was like in my 20s and 30s, I put up with a lot of crap, but the older you get, the more sure you get, and the more sure of who you want to hang out with. So I'm guessing that's just a reminder that the older you get, the more personal power you feel. So let's get one more of those and see what it says. Dang. Okay, tantric journey. Oh, okay. The frequency of tantric journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. I think that probably says, to me, sex does get better as you get older. For me personally, when I was younger, 20s and 30s, I was so up in my head. I couldn't relax. I couldn't enjoy sex to save my life. And as you get older and that personal power comes and you quit caring what everybody thinks about you, the sex does get better. So don't think that because somebody's in their 60s or 70s or 80s that they can't have good sex, because they can. So you young people that are watching this, don't be judging us older people and thinking that we're not getting it on every chance we get. So, all right, one more from, this was a new deck, an Ascension deck that I got, and all of my cards seem to have purple in them. I wonder why. Probably because it's my favorite color. So let's get a couple of cards from this and see what it says, and then we will end this little journey of romance advice from the cards for the ages. There's one that feels like that one needs to come out. Let's do one more. Let's see what it says. Yeah, I can't wait to send my honey a message tonight. I haven't talked to him for, God, he was over here last Wednesday night. Last Thursday's the last time I talked to him. Send him a message tonight and ask him if he remembers what he was doing about 8 o'clock. He better remember. If he doesn't, I won't be mad. I almost forgot until I saw somebody posted on Facebook today. It was her 10-year anniversary of her first date with her current husband. I almost forgot that it was my 1-year anniversary, so if he's forgotten, I'm not going to get too mad at him. Okay, so nurture your physical body. As you get older, I think that's very important. I didn't take very good care of mine when I was younger. In the last year, I've lost 70 pounds, so I finally got smart and realized I wasn't getting any younger and that I had to start taking care of my physical body. I swear to God, I feel like I'm 30 years younger than I did this time last year. Wished I'd have done it years ago, but I didn't. So, you know, you can only do what you can do. The second card says progress. I think, you know, if you're making progress forward, anything's good. Oh, and the personal development came up again. I guess that means that you're never too old to learn anything. I think a lot of people right now are having spiritual awakenings, and that's all about personal development. I definitely went through one the last few months. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I would love to hear comments or feedback. Subscribe to the channel or anything, and let me know what you thought about this. I'm highly likely going to do this again because this was a lot of fun. I don't know, I'll have to figure out how to do it, whether I'll do it by month or I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Anyway, have a great day.